Okay, interesting. So the game has ray tracing. That's a big discovery actually, and makes the game kind of interesting to invest from a technical perspective because that is a huge deal. This guy here moving around in the reflections is a sure tell, right? This one they could have actually done with a very sophisticated SSR, like whatever pro, I don't know what, right? They could have done that, but this guy here is a dynamic NPC that is not always there. He's the tell, right? And I'm pretty sure if you walk around the city, we're gonna find plenty more of these situations where you can literally tell the game has ray tracing. Yeah, the game has ray tracing. This is huge. You can see the ad up here, the Vitasec, right, is moving. And here it is, down there. This is 100% ray traced. No fucking way. We have a MiHoYo game using ray tracing, and nobody fucking knows. We might be the first person that actually confirms this game has ray tracing. That is crazy. I mean, I don't know if I'm the first person, but yeah, that is kind of huge, man. Having ray traced reflections in the MiHoYo game. And that's huge also for you to know, because you want to turn them off. It runs like shit. If the game runs like shit, this is the first thing you want to get rid of. Yeah, that is actually cool. Yeah, nice. So the game has ray traced reflections. You can easily tell by looking at all these dynamic objects. Here you can see the lamp is swinging down there. Yeah, for sure, ray traced, right? I think I'm going to upload this section as a short like YouTube video so people can actually see it. Just like demonstrating it for you, right? Just like walking around, you can see the signs changing. Here you can see like the correlation between those. There it is. You can see, right, it changes in the real time according to the other one. I mean, there's a slight delay because that's how ray tracing works, right? You can tell the sign here basically changes also off screen. And you can see also here, you can see under, you can see basically the lights right here, these lights. You can see them by looking at the reflections down here. So that is so good. That's so good, man. Yeah, really looking forward to actually letting people know, because this is a huge find. Never expected this game to have ray tracing, to be honest. Just another, you know, and just another nail in the coffin of Genshin Impact. You can literally see, look, these are the clouds up there. I can see them realistically down here, right? You can see this is fucking ray tracing. And it also has a huge range, which is crazy. Look, you can see the buildings all the way back there. Obviously, you can see the details in the windows. The LOD for the ray traced reflection is lower, but just look at how far it reaches. You can see the blue sign all the way down there. That is amazing. That is amazing. Does it have ray traced reflections in Windows as well? No, this is screen space, right? This is this is interesting because it doesn't have it in Windows. I noticed that one before. You can see the difference here. You can see this is like what I called the reflection probe, right? They put a cube, like a reflection map here, and now it's just gonna, you know, do this here, right? You can literally see it doesn't really show you the environment. It shows you what the environment should look like from here, and it only works for static objects. So, for example, do we see a dynamic? Yeah, we should see the sign flickering here, this one, right? But it doesn't. So this is for sure a very inside. Oh, this is inside. Don't worry about it. There's something inside, so don't mind the dynamic stuff here. Yeah, this is for sure not ray traced. So there's not ray traced reflections everywhere, but for sure the puddles, they are ray traced. Now that obviously begs the question, is this a ray traced shadow? I don't know. I'm not good enough at spotting ray traced artifacts from you know, from shadows, right? I'm not that good at ray traced shadows implementations. I mean, I don't think it is, because like it's very consistent, right? No matter where we are, it doesn't seem to change too much in the way of like the way the shadow is rendered. But yeah, very interesting find that we have ray traced reflections in this game. Yeah, that's really good to know that MiHoYo is finally embracing the future of, the current state of rendering, basically. So nice. Can we see the lines move? These might be too thin to actually see. Some objects also can be excluded from the LOD, but which I think they are actually, which doesn't mean there's no ray tracing. This literally means that the LOD for some objects is smaller. I guess the cables here are actually not reflected. But it is really nice to know. I'm really happy about it. Are there moving clouds in the game? I guess they're static, so we can't actually see if they care about that. Are the stars reflected? I mean, you know, the LOD, how ray tracing works is it definitely is based on the distance to the objects. And you can also combine it with screen space if you want to, but I do feel like I'm seeing stars flickering ever so slightly within the puddles here. Might be pure copium. No, but it definitely has ray tracing. Super cool, super cool. Thank you, MiHoYo, for finally embracing. Yeah, embracing. It doesn't have, yeah, you can see, right? This is 100%. Yeah, it is such an easy tell too. Yeah, 100%. I mean, 99.9%. Yeah, you can never be 100% sure. So does it also have other cool ray trace effects? Like, what about ray trace, global illumination, all those things? The lighting is pretty, but it's pretty hard to tell if it's not that dynamic, right? It has discrete steps and whatever, so very, very interesting though. Yeah, unfortunately the reflections are not ray traced here. You can tell easily, right, the discrepancy between screen space and ray trace. I mean, is it bad that it's like that? I mean, obviously they're also super low res, so I think like this is like not a good way to to do the probes, I guess, right? So there are not enough probes to make it feel realistic, but I think like it does the job anyway, right? It's not a big minus. Obviously it hurts a little bit that it's like, you know, you can see here the reflections also here, they're definitely not ray traced. Like very, very low resy probes here. The flag is behind, don't worry about it. Every time you see something dynamic here, that's like where you have to think like, oh wait, is it? You can make them dynamic, but usually they don't. So yeah, but very interesting. So we have a ray tracing implementation. And why it's kind of curious they didn't go for the window ray trace reflections is because once you have ray tracing enabled, it is basically you know, it is like you can do the same calculations for all different types of ray tracing, like shadows, global illumination, and all kinds of reflections need the same base information. So once you have it going, it's kind of weird not to put it everywhere, right? It does have you know, it has a big initial cost, and obviously every single additional effect also has a cost, but the additional cost is way lower than the initial one, especially if you're already doing reflections. It is kind of interesting to see that they're not like, this one for example doesn't have any reflections on it. Yeah, they didn't go for it. It still looks really good, right? But I still think if you're already starting using ray tracing, why not go all the way, right? For high-end systems. I guess that's the main reason. They didn't want to fuck players that just max out the graphics in every game too much. But that would definitely explain if the game doesn't run as you expect it should, or runs worse than Genshin, we have the culprit right here, like the ray tracing. Okay, but I'm not going to talk too much about it anymore, but it's still very, very cool to see. And yeah, I'm kind of happy we discovered it right here. I'm not sure if I'm the first person that discovered it, but I'm definitely one of the first to actually mention it online. Yeah, really, really huge. And actually, this is so interesting though, because obviously the puddle has ray tracing, right? But does everything on the floor have ray tracing? It'd be crazy though. But honestly, is the entire fucking floor ray traced? I think it is. I think the entire fucking floor in the game is ray traced. Holy fucking shit. It's not only the puddles, it's everywhere. So even in the sections where you can't see it too well, they are still using ray tracing. So everything here, the entire ground is ray traced. Even these things here. Oh my god. That's so cool. Okay, but now we're gonna continue playing the game. I guess I'll end the YouTube video right here. But yeah, really nice to see, man. I really love attacking games, so I'm like glad to see they finally convert